This is my informative speech for Comm 231. Here's my note cards. Can I have a show of hands on how many people in here know someone that's hit a deer or they've hit a deer themselves in a vehicle? I bet you didn't know that 1 in every 113 vehicles in the state of North Carolina during 2017-2018 struck a deer. Hunting not only slows down wrecks, but it can help feed families. The 3 main points I'm going to go over today are benefits of eating deer meat, the dangers of driving with deer on the road, and how you can help feed families and help people. The benefits: deer meat is healthier. It has less protein, less vitamins, and it has more protein, more vitamins, and more minerals than beef does. It has a higher cholesterol, but the overweighing factors of protein, vitamins, and minerals overweigh the cholesterol. What's in your meat? When you harvest a deer, you watch it, you see what it's doing, you see what it's eating, you see how it comes in. You know everything about it. You become obsessed with knowing how to harvest a deer, and so during that you'll know its diet, you'll know where it feeds, you know everything about it. So you'll know that there's no preservatives or there's no additives. You're getting exactly what you're getting when you harvest deer. Where does it come from? You know exactly when you harvest this deer. I don't personally take meat to a processor. I process all my own meat. I know exactly, from the moment I harvest a deer to, the moment I eat it. I know exactly what is in it and what's going on. How is it raised? This is a big ethical issue, I think, is hog farms, cattle farms. There's so many animals in tight quarters. They have little room to live. They're not free. Most of the time, they're not free range animals. You take deer, for instance, and they travel miles and miles during rut. There's nothing bounding them. They're free spirited. They're free to roam. They can do what they want. The dangers on the road are: in 1975 there was 89 vehicle deaths due to deer. And in 2007, the number raised to 223, which is a substantial amount. Most of the time, say you hit a bird or something like that, it's not going to create a lot of damage on your vehicle. But when you hit a deer, I'm sure most of you know people who have hit deer, and you know the problems and the damage that it can create on a vehicle, sometimes even totaling vehicles. And if you don't have the right insurance or if you don't have the right coverage, then you might have to pay out of pocket for that. Or if you do have the coverage, then your premiums will go up and you'll be spending more money. Another issue is a lot of people, when they see a deer in the middle of the road, they tend to swerve. And a lot of times that can cause people to run off the road, hit a tree, flip, anything like that, trying to avoid hitting the animal, when 9 times out of 10 it's usually better to just go ahead and hit the animal than swerving, because that can, multiply the damage. In 2013, there was 20,308 crashes due to animals via vehicle, which I believe, 20,000 people striking animals, deer, is that's a huge number. So feeding and helping families, there's each guy, each man, woman, child, every valid hunter in the state of North Carolina gets 5 tags. So 5 animals that you can, feed families, and there's a lot of hungry people around. And I believe it's, kind of a duty that each of us have, is to help the next man or the next family. And if you're not fortunate, you don't have a whole lot of money to be able to, pay to feed those families, you can hunt and harvest meat for them and provide them with something, to keep them full. There's also the issue of farmers that have crops, and that is their livelihood. That's the only thing that that's what puts food on their table, and that's what keeps their lights on. So when you have animals, deer, um, interrupting that and causing issues, not substantial issues, but still they do eat crops pretty heavily. Helping farmers, is a big part of helping everybody. So the review of the points: first is eating. I discussed eating wild game. Secondly, I discussed the dangers that come with deer and on the road. Finally, the ability to help and feed people. with more hunting, roads will be safer and people will be fed. In conclusion, remember that North Carolina is the 16th worst state in the country in vehicle accidents via deer. Be safe out there and don't turn into a statistic.